Welcome back to Apple Tree Allotment. Down here on Sunday morning again, bright and early. I think the weather's going to change a bit later, it's going to rain a bit, so I thought I'd get down here and get a few things done. Rained a lot yesterday and overnight, so it's very muddy, and it's starting to get to that point of the year where I need my walking boots back on down here, and the car park bit is starting to get a bit muddy and tricky to get in and out of, but lots to do still. So I came down here, I brought down a crate to dig up some more potatoes, make a bit more room for growing some more over winter crops. So I'm going to go for a couple of those beds. A lot of them are still, there's some more that are sort of starting to sprout, so I think it's still too warm to store them in the ground this winter, so dig up some more. And once I've cleared a couple of beds, I'm going to sow some broad beans. So I've got these dwarf broad beans, the Sutton variety. So these can go in October, November, and then February, March, April, May, June. So hopefully by sort of June, July time next year, we should have some nice broad beans. Yeah, I've got a couple of packs of these, so I'm going to get them in the beds at the back there. Yeah, so I'll get a couple of beds of those in today. See how many seeds, how far these go. I've also brought down some wire clippers. I'm probably going to move some of this fencing. It was too long, but I didn't have any clippers last week to change it, so I wrapped it right round. But I'll see if I can cut that with the wire clippers I brought down, and ideally I'd like to get some more wire around those garlic and these broad beans as well. So yeah, we'll see if we can do that. And I noticed there's a few more bark chippings by the front gate, so I might just quickly grab a wheelbarrow and put a barrow down, load down here, just to keep this bit topped up. They sort of mulch down over time, so be nice to stay on top of that, keep it looking nice, and make sure it's not muddy over winter. The rest of the plot is still looking really good. This side, there's obviously lots growing, not really much the other side and the other plot. I'll have a look at the beans in a minute, see if there's anything more on there, but I think they're probably done now. At home we had tomatoes. We've had our last sort of bowl or two of tomatoes off of the plants, and I think there must have been a frost or close to it. The plants have all gone brown, so I've pulled them up and composted those, and harvested all the last tomatoes, and the same with the courgettes. We had the last little tiny courgette off the plants, and dug those up. And I'm just going to put some green manure in the beds at home over winter. We've still got a bed full of flowers there. So yeah, that's all good. Down here, the onions look like they're doing really well. Some really nice big shoots there coming up. Leeks are doing well. 2 beds of garlic here, so I planted these, one last week, one the week before. So they're doing okay. Doesn't look like anything's been digging in there, so that's good news. These are the 2 beds I'm going to put broad beans in. So I think that one still has potatoes in, so I'll dig those up today. I think that one's clear, but I'll have a dig through it just to make sure, and clear those up. And then the 4 across the back have got potatoes in as well. Well, the one over there looks like it's completely regrown with potatoes. Just a bit frustrating, but sort of the risk you take, I guess, storing them in the ground on a warmer year. Chard is still growing well. Some of that sort of looks like it's been knocked over a bit. Something's a bird or something's been jumping in there, but mostly good. Lots of lovely leeks over here. Sort of taking home 2 or 3 a week at the moment, but they're looking good. These 2 beds are empty at the moment, albeit a rogue chard plant. So I'll perhaps put some green manure in those beds another week. And over this side, our strawberries are looking okay. A couple of little weeds I won't pull out. Raspberries are all sort of had a bad year for raspberries this year, but I'll cut them back next year. And the rest of the plot is empty. All of that is empty. So really I need to get some green manure in there or cover them up. I'll do something with them. At some point I'm going to build these ones up with some boxes. But yeah, sort of leaving this side empty, ready for next year, so I can get potatoes in them in sort of spring next year. And something else, I'm not sure what down here, maybe our sort of courgettes and squash and things. Yeah, we'll see what we come up with next year. So first job, I'm going to go and get a wheelbarrow and see if I can get some bark chippings just for filling some of these paths a bit. And then I'll start work on harvesting some potatoes. Got a couple of barrow loads of bark down. So I've got one here, which makes that bit look a lot tidier. I did one further back over here, just where this path over here was getting a bit low. I just did that sort of cross part there. Keep adding more. Hopefully I'll get another delivery at some point, and I can top all these paths up. But they're pretty good, to be honest. So doing a good job of keeping the mud down. The next job, I'm going to dig this bed, all the potatoes out of this bed. I think there's quite a few good ones in there, and I'll have another sort of dig over this one. I'm pretty sure I cleared that last week, but I'll just double check before I plant some broad beans. I've cleared out this bed of potatoes, so there's quite a lot in there actually. It's not a bad bed, that one. That's a good harvest from there. And I just had a little look through the other one. There was nothing in there other than a couple of tiny ones I'd missed. So them two beds are ready to go now. I'll get some broad beans in there, and then I'll try and put some fencing or something around them just to protect them. So I've laid out my broad bean seeds. They're about 20 centimetres apart. I've got 28 in this bed. There's quite a lot more in the pack. There's probably enough for another bed in there. So I'm just going to bury them down about 5 centimetres. I'll move on to the next bed. I've managed to cut off the excess of the wire from the onions bed, and I've got enough to make a fence around the rest of the garlic. So I've got all the garlic and onions now fenced in, so hopefully that'll be safe from whatever was nibbling it. Now I just need to do something with the garlic beds. I've got a little bit more wire, so I'll see if, I don't think it'll be long enough to go right the way around, so I might do something like cut it in half height wise, just so I can get it right the way round. This bed's got some nice, fairly tall corners on it, so something good to sort of solid to wrap it round, as is this one actually. So I might be able to do something. I might be able to do one of the beds, I think, with that green wire, and then the other one probably have this mesh on for a little while until I can find some more wire mesh, or I do have some green netting, but it's a bit of a pain to deal with. So yeah, we'll see what else I can find. I did think about cutting these fences sort of half height, just to give me, so that I don't think the sort of rabbits and things are that bothered to get that high. I know our rabbits at home can jump probably a metre. I think they've certainly jumped over a stair gate before us. So if they're desperate enough, they might do that. Last year we did have the broad beans never grew at all because they were eaten. Hopefully it wasn't mice or anything, because there's not a lot I can do about that. But we'll see. We'll get them in now, and if they don't come up, then we can plant some more in February, March. But it's worth a go over winter, isn't it? See what, you never know what the weather's going to do and what's going to happen. And I've got the space this year, so I might as well get them going. So I'm going to get that bit of wire. I'll measure it out and see if it goes around. If it doesn't, I'll cut it in half and do it that way, I think. So that's one of the broad bean beds protected as best I can. So I managed to cut the fence in half height-wise, and I've just joined them at diagonal corners, cable tied them together. So that looks right. Hopefully that'll survive. If it's mice or any other rodents, then we won't win anyway. We'll see if they survive the winter, and if not, we can replant. Perhaps grow some at home next year. And the other bed, I've just chucked that grill on for now, and then I might work on maybe cutting down the chard, or I might even take off the fence off the chard another week. The one over there seems to be doing okay now. It's grown up anyway. But yeah, that's a project for another week, I think. It's hard work cutting through all that wire. So yeah, that's probably it for today, I think. I'll go home and get some breakfast with the kids. Lots more potatoes to dig up still. Another 4 beds here, and we've got a bed at home as well of the kids grew some Rudolph red potatoes, but we're saving those ones for Christmas. I loaded them up with a load of soil, a load of compost that come off the sunflower bed. So yeah, so they're doing okay, I think. But yeah, we'll certainly dig these ones up. I think each week I'll come and dig at least one of these up. I wanted to get some that green manure in, definitely on the other side, on some of those other beds. But yeah, this side is looking really good. All the beds apart from the 2 by the tree are all still got something in, either potatoes, chard, leek, garlic, onion, or broad bean. So this side's still working hard. The other side's not really got anything other than the strawberries and raspberries. But yeah, it's nice to see it still working away, even in winter. And yeah, still stuff to harvest, so that's good. So I hope you're doing well, and keeping well, and getting some harvests, or at least some time outside on the plot. And look forward to talking to you next time.